Alright, and we're back for the final episode of Act 3 here on... What's the official terminology for this? Do we just continue calling it Universe Zero, or do we come up with a better name? I think we just call it that. Even though it's not Universe Zero, it's actually our universe. And like, I live in, and you live in, and any other viewer lives in. That's why there's real racetracks and real cars being used, because it's basically the real world. And that also kind of explains why the game is such a simulation, because it's a simulation of the real world, and not... This is no lava twists or deep zone, this is the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit in Eiffel, Germany. Which is ironic, because it says Eiffel, but it's in not France, it's in Germany. It's only one F. Well, I think a podium in this race would clinch the championship for Twin Mill. And, something tells me when he's starting third behind the henchman and that it's pretty likely that he will accomplish that goal. And anyone nearby that could really threaten it is Six and Angels on a perfect day would maybe be able to. Burn can't, Beach can't, Bedlam can't, Act3 surely can't. Danny might be able to, but he just got shuffled down the order to 12th. But just like in any other video game really, or really any other situation, even though the championship is won, it doesn't mean the championship is over. It just means there's less competition revolved around it. Besides, just because he won doesn't mean everyone else is where they could be. Beat could advance a couple of places with a good finish here, probably, I'm sure. I don't know. I only really focused on the top cars. I don't focus too much on the bottom ones. If it's like the top 6 or lower, or if it's like 6th or lower, I don't really pay too much attention to them in points-wise. Oh, so you kept saying earlier, or in the comments, that, you said Act3 might be a good driver someday. I don't think it's the driver here. In this particular instance, it's not the driver, it's the fact that his car is from Act 2 and was average then. Now it's Act 3 with even faster opponents, such as Alex's Ferrari or Twin Mill, which actually is also from Act 2, and beat it then, plus other cars that beat it then too, like Danny's car did, Twin Mill, or 16 Angels did. It was never likely to have that much of a great time. Well, that might be winning right now, but... yeah, that would mean basically Alex would have to outscore him by 14 points, and then win both races with Twin Mill not scoring at all from here. This would essentially mean Alex would need a podium. Twin Mill couldn't get any better than 9th. Or, you know, Twin Mill would win the championship, regardless of what happened. And given that he's in 2nd, Alex being in 8th, yeah, that's not too likely. My mind's in like another place right now a little bit too because someone was freaking out at me over on PlayStation. What's PlayStation? Wow, PlayStation messages, and it's a bit of a complicated story. Nothing that really, I don't think, really needs to be explained here in too much detail. But it's basically I haven't played with him in a while, and the main reason being that a lot of his friends really could care less about my presence, and on top of that, they play games I don't particularly enjoy. Like, obviously he likes me there, and I like to be there with him, but as far as, like, his other friends that he has, they can go jump in a lake. Like... being as blatant as I could possibly be, and I know that. That's what they are, and that's what they deserve. Whoa, 16 needles. It goes right up with that braking zone. That is actually running away. That and Twin Mill both with their equal share of damages to their car. That's not what I wanted. Can I actually do this? Yeah, I can do it that way. Huh. So I guess, like, if somebody qualified really high and qualified and fell back, if I wanted to watch them, I could just go to that. Crap. Didn't want to do that. I don't know why that does that. I might have to change it so that it doesn't do that later. To where left on the D-pad is somehow not mapped both to change view and toggle HUD. It's weirder when you also figure that pressing it once will change the view to the cockpit, but it won't change the view back if I press it a second time. However, it does continue toggling the HUD on the screen. Which means it probably isn't even supposed to be there at all, and I just have to unbind and rebind it, probably. Flight of the Bumblebees ahead of Silhouette here, my lord. All you'd need is Metacog in that group and you'd have all of the yellow cars we've had. Metacog is down in 13th though, he's like the inconsistent one. He's like the new governor. You have great runs like you did at the Highlands course. And then you have this. 12th place after 3 whole laps. You've had plenty of time to get up the field. When are you going to do it? Henchman's still in 3rd place, but he has quite the cult following right now. Like, oh my god, that's a lot of cars following him. But because he has a little bit of power in that car, people have a harder time getting around him than they would with, like, if that were Act3 there. Because Silhouette's first in line, and while there's better acceleration and whatnot, and everything else for that matter, the henchman just barely keeps up with it in power, and that really inconveniences Silhouette. Now, if I could move the camera in this view, I wouldn't mind using it, but when I'm, like, in this view, you can't really see the mirror because of that lap data. I can't take it off, but then you can't see the leaderboard. But then you also can't move around the camera, so if someone is to Bert's right or left here, like right now, like, you can't see Metacog. The only reason you know he's even there is because I just told you he's there, and because of that little red arrow that's saying, hey, there's someone here. Good lord, that. 10-second lead over Twin Mill. Henchman is still blocking. This does turn the tables of the results though, because I can actually put, like with a poorly done maneuver, they can put a faster car behind someone else that's just opportunistic. So what's gonna get him now though? So that's gonna be one car clear of the henchman. One. There's like 10 more that probably want to get around him at least. And the henchman isn't done yet either. He's still on his inside for this corner. The four-wheel drive acceleration will help henchman maybe get past, or maybe help somewhat get around him as it does. As long as the inside here, though not with a line like that, it won't help. But yeah, I would safely say that he is now gone. 16 Angels is next in line, and then because of how much has been happening, no one else is actually up there yet. This is because of all the roadblock, like the blockage of the track. No one really got anywhere. They just kept fighting with each other, and as soon as Henchman gained some space, he left this in his wake. And we still got a hefty pack here of 5 cars. Alex, not Bert, Vert beat... Alex beat Vert, Metacog, and Blossom. It's not really... I don't know why my mind just struggles to say beat and Vert within the same, like, context. I guess it's sort of like Vanny and Dat. Even though Vanny doesn't exist and Dat is a parody, which I don't think might exist, I don't know. Now I think the field is beginning to spread out just a little bit. I'm a bit drowsy because for some odd reason taking showers actually like puts me in like a sleepier position compared to like normal. Like normally I could not be even remotely tired most of the time, most times throughout the day, but for some reason taking a shower, just something about it just like puts me like in a very drowsy, almost narcoleptic mood. I don't know if it's because I'm calm or what, or if it's because I'm like now more comfortable, but I just feel like they want to just shut a little bit. I cannot shut them because, well, I have to see what's happening to commentate over it, so... Daniel with not a single point here. That with a 15-second victory over Twin Mill. And from then it was another 30 to Silhouette. Alex too little too late there, but I guess he would technically get around the henchman after on the back straight. On the front straight? What am I talking about? That's not the back. Oof! 16 is not happy. So yeah, Twin Mill's lead is now insurmountable between 2 races. The most that Alex could score is 50 points. Well, that is a lead of 69 points. Someone's gonna laugh about that in the comments. If I got more than like 10 viewers, that is. So yeah, nearly a 70-point difference, and in scoring 50 points, that's not 70, meaning, well, Alex cannot win. Vert can beat Alex, however, if, like, Vert gets a win and Alex gets, like, a really bad place like 8th. I mean, I guess Vert doesn't have to do that. This is not what I wanted. I'm trying to press the R2 button, but of course, as I said before, it's got, like, a not really good, like, pressure trigger. Meaning, like, I won't register that, hey, this person is trying to press a button. This can be a problem in racing games, and you'll even see it too when I grab the engine. The gas almost never goes all the way up. So you have to really push it down to get all the way to 100%. Usually it just kind of lingers around 85 to 90%, like, you know, push. And being that I play as many racing games as I do, that can be a problem on certain ones. Also, I don't really play this one, I more watch this game, because the driving on here isn't always the best. It's good on a wheel, and it's good for the PC version, but like, a controller on a PS4 version with most cars doesn't work too well. And I could explain the reasons, but it's just too complicated to even bother. I did not want this view. I did not want that button. There we go. Now that I finally remember how to use a video game, or play a video game. I'm in the wrong view again, but at least this one isn't cockpit. You can still kind of see stuff. Makes it seem like they're going faster. Now those 2 cars up ahead, well, not with those drivers, but the cars have always been, for some reason, impeccably close fighters. However, there's a Ford GT40 that would like to take both positions, and by probably the end of lap 2 or 3, we'll probably have them. Huh? Thought about it, but then realized that's probably going to kill someone. I suppose maybe one reason Twin Mill isn't being too aggressive is because he already kind of knows he's won. He's just sort of here because he can be. Oh. So what just gave Act3 a little reminder. Well, I guess wants to pass the beat down the straightaway there. The only straightaway on the track. Alright, Act3, he didn't hit you there. He's bothering me, alright? Twin was about to probably get, or attempt to get around Danny. The thing being that this track doesn't provide too many opportunities for passing somebody other than the front straightaway. It's like a Belgian version of, like, Brandtach. There has to be a pretty big difference in either power or handling to make any kind of maneuver around this circuit or Brandtach. The difficulty of passing can be kind of shown like this, with the henchman and I, well, we were in points, now we're not, I'm not anymore, and the henchman is not, you know, not far away from out of points. Now actually holds is the caboose of a 5-car train that's attempting to catch up between me and Danny up here. Though I don't think that'll really ever get him anywhere. Can you do it this time? No. We'll try actually. Now Alex is fighting Beat. Well, that wasn't a very long fight, now was it? Oh, I got ahead of all that group, what the heck did I just do? And that is now catching Act3 and the rest of that group. And the henchman leads a 5-car, arguably 4, arguably 6-car train. Now Metacog has gotten past the henchman up there. So 1 car is out of the train. 16 Angels having a hard time getting around henchmen. I don't know what Power Pistons is doing that's making 16 Angels just unable to clear him, but it's probably not making him too happy. Well, yeah, no, not. Well, actually, that was Blossom hitting 16 Angels. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe that was an error. Maybe Blossom's just angry overall and not really targeted anymore at one specific person with this anger. Now I think the story on the racetrack is going to become: is Alex quick enough to catch Danny before the end of the race? I think he'll catch up to him. I don't think he'll get around him, though. Also, that is stuck behind the battle between Vert and Silhouette. Beat tries to run, but I think as soon as one of them is clear, both will be chasing him down again. Also, nice Pepsi Max signs there. I'm a Mountain Dew person. As I think I've explained before, I was like addicted to Mountain Dew, and I said that in like an Act 2 episode or something. Late Act 1, early Act 2, one of the two. It's like my coffee. I drink it when I get up, and I have one with like dinner usually. But with less like restrictions on what I can or cannot do without my grandma in the house, and my mom being a slightly more carefree person about the whole ordeal. I've had 3 per day every day this weekend, including Friday. Mountain Dew can't direct to kill you, unlike something else you could be addicted to. You could be addicted to, you know, drugs. Alcohol. Alcohol itself might not kill you, but the decisions you make while you're under the influence of it might. Drugs, well, just, I think, usually flat out kill you. Certain ones do anyway, and then the other ones have the same effect as alcohol in that sense of it doesn't kill you, but what you do during it kills you. Yeah, I think Alex caught him. Just a little bit. I mean, with more laps, I think Vert might have passed Beat and eventually Danny as well, and you might have had the literal championship results reciprocated here. Twin Mill winning, Alex in second, and Vert potentially in third, where he is in the standings. But I think he might end up being stuck in fourth, because Beat's car down a straight is not to be, you know, underestimated. As Act 1's race at Monza sort of proved that, yeah, it's difficult to chase that down. However, of course, this is a Nissan GTR, meaning that it's much faster than anything Ryan outran in Act 1. Let's see who's taking that last point spot. Looks like it might be me. It'll be either me or Act3 if some nonsense goes down. Now, Metacog is gonna get him. I don't know if my Porsche can. And that's that. X3 does beat me, and I think will still beat me in out of the corner here. No, actually I just expertly attacked there. But expertly I mean did it the exact same way that everyone else has done it in this race. Because it's honestly the only way that you really can attack on this track. Beat held off Vert for 4th. And now we go into the final race at Modern Silverstone. I just significantly coughed. That was like, that probably roused the dead. Significant cough. That sounds like one of those like weird, like randomized Xbox usernames. Just accidentally lobbed something behind me and I have to get up and reclaim it. There's a nice spider web next to where that thing landed. It's got a few tiny bugs in it. I think I caught the moth that was flying around my room last night. I think I saw that in there, which is not really what you want to see. Just a dead, strangulated moth in the corner of your room because spiders have a twisted sense of humor. I'm able to sell out. Anyway, as we get on to the final event of Act 3. We're a third of the way done here, because like I said, I'm planning on doing 8 or 9. One for every game that had been finished up to that point. And I might do a 10th one as soon as like a 10th LP is complete. Tornell getting like really like fortunate with his starting positions in these races, clearly. Focus will once again be put on Alex and if he can beat Vert in the race. Though I think Alex has clinched second, I didn't actually look at the points. Give Act3 a little warning there. Power Pistons is not really taking the normal line there. And one thing the group has sort of narrowed down through these 3 acts now is that the organizer is taking note of which races always cause a lot of action. Meaning, there's a higher likelihood that if we find the organizer anywhere, whatever it might be, looking at the tracks that have caused a lot of intense races such as Mugello, or the Highlands, or Black Cat County, or Monza, or Classic Monza. Those are the places that you're likely to find him. You won't probably find him at Red Bull Ring or here, because these races are honestly kind of boring usually. And I think that this race will turn out to not really be an exception to that statement. Run, Metacog, run, Metacog, run! No, you gotta be quicker than that. Oh, Blossom has hit Danny again. Blossom is just rear-ending everyone in this series. I don't know if she's just not good with braking, or if she's getting too aggressive, or if she just isn't generally happy with people right now, or I don't know what her malfunction is. That tried to do something for 16 Angels, but that doesn't really work as he planned it. Well, that did though. Now he needs to stay ahead for these corners. And convincingly, because I think the Corvette has the smallest advantage in top speed. That's not helping that either. That billboard doesn't even make a shadow, what? Vert's left with nowhere to go. Channel is still losing ground to that through these tighter corners. Go look in the back here. Beat was just in 4th place and now he's in 14th, fighting with me for last. Over, not last. Again, I'm going to continue to hold on to the statement. If Alex and Twin Mill weren't here, this would be a mostly balanced tournament. Because everyone else has actually been pretty well balanced, or we're pretty evenly matched. Most drivers have had 1 or 2 kind of oasis rounds where they've suddenly just done incredibly well, probably started near the front, and managed to, by one way or another, stay there and get like top 5. Beats had 2 or 3 of these. Bedlam, I think, had one as well as the Henchman did at Nürburgring. Though Byrne didn't get that. Act3 got like top 8 or something like that once or twice. But even now, the only driver that's anywhere even remotely out of place is Silhouette, who's still in 11th. But even he just moved to 9th, so... Everyone is about where I would have expected them to be in this championship, though, right now. Literally, except for... I figured Beat and, No, I didn't think Beat and 16 Angels would switch, but, like... They'd be closer together. 16 Angels seems like he would be the one where Silhouette is. So those two probably switch. That or Alex. Yeah, I think Alex and 16 Angels would probably switch in my head. Silhouette might move around a little bit. He'd be, like, 5th fastest to me, and then... I feel like Beat would be where Silhouette is. Alright, that just passed Twin Mill. But yeah, use that extra power. A little wake-up call for you there. Matacog is checked out. And they're almost 3 wide going into this corner between Angels, Blossom, and Vert. Yeah, this just kind of proves that 16 Angels might be a little bit out of his expected performance range. That these two are both right on top of him. And staying there with what seems to be not much effort. I'd say these 3 are probably the ones to watch for the remainder of this race, because they're the only ones close to each other. And they just keep exchanging positions while trying to get around 16 Angels, but I imagine once one of them does, that'll be the position they finish in. First one to get around 16 Angels is going to probably claim 4th. Well, that's one way to do it, Blossom. You want to maybe not do that again? I'll tell the professor. You're being a naughty little girl. Silhouette passed Danny at some point. Didn't notice he was even close to him. These three are still trying to get around each other. 16 Needles is obviously not really intent on letting that happen. And it doesn't yet. With Blossom taking a trip through the grass, and now Vert will have another crack at it. Meanwhile, back in the back left of the track is actually another kind of train forming. The henchman is the leader of men and robot, apparently, and alien. We start the final lap of Act 3. It's actually been started for 15 seconds, but Metacog with a very comfortable lead. That is faster by a tenth of a second, but yeah, we don't have a 68 lap race here, pal. More coffee. Lots and lots of coffee. Yeah, like I said, Bert got around 16 Needles. I kind of missed it, and I'm upset, but... And this has allowed him to almost effortlessly take that position, take 4th and 5th away from both of them. Blossom might be able to get 16 Needles, but she ain't getting 4th. There's no way. As for the final point on offer, I think the henchman is going to get it at this rate. Danny could not stick with Silhouette well enough. Silhouette can't get to Alex. Alex, if we were more laps, I think would be getting to Blossom and 16 Needles if they kept fighting each other, as they are now. But he would still need at least another full lap if he'd be within distance to actually pass either one, I think. Unless they really get in each other's way here, which is exactly what appears to be happening. These two, man, I don't know. Blossom and 16 Needles can't be too happy with each other anymore. This isn't a coincidence. This is like the 4th time in 2 races where Blossom and Angels have made a connection. What is this, Tinder? And that has, in fact, allowed Alex to get close. But Blossom is getting drafted from 16 Needles, and that's keeping her just ahead of him. Blossom finally takes the position, that throws 16 Needles off his line, and Alex will take that position as well. Alex can maybe attack Blossom, but he doesn't have the opportunity due to a botched exit out of that last corner, meaning he will just take 6th. Silhouette also kind of got into the race as well, and if this were their 6th lap, this might have gotten really interesting, but alas, the act is over. Metacog wins this race, but he does not even come close to winning the championship, obviously. It might help him pass any other championship rivals he has around him, but yeah, that's not winning the entire thing. The train of many cars runs off into the sunset. Break! And there you have it. In totally not dominant fashion, 85 points is the difference between Twin Mill and Alex for victory. Everyone does score in this championship, even Act3, who I didn't actually think would score many points, or Burn, I didn't think would score much either. Burn having his car from Act 1, and then it didn't do well in that act either. Act3 did average in his act, with that car anyway. Or the Act 2, you know, where he originally had that car. So I don't actually have anything prepared for Act 4. I left Act 1 here, and the trailer was the set of cars used in the preview, which means that's actually Act 5, or will be Act 5 later. So there is not a thing to preview right now for, like, the next act, which I don't know when that'll start. I mean, I have to set it up first and foremost. I want to get a couple more episodes of Turbo Racing in, or let them get in, or let them happen first, so I have any potential fresh plot points to go off of. I can bring them up here. Perhaps some new character that might be discovered, I don't know. I don't think we'll be discovering anybody new, though, even though I've put in a handful of suggestions of, like, maybe this is a thing that comes along, and this is a thing that changes stuff, and even if, like, go-kart, I can't put that here. There's nothing that small. And if there was, it would fit into Act 1 and nothing else. It wouldn't fit into Act 4. And, again, the evolution thing, that ends after Act 5, and we still have between 3 to 5 more acts after that. I have a few plans. Because, while there aren't too many cars, you can do some things with them that make it more interesting that way. A couple of ideas that I had, for example, were a team-based thing. So it would be, there'd be 14 cars, not 15, and I would have to write down the points scored by each individual team and keep track of that among myself. Additionally, I also thought about having the F1 standard of point system, as in 2 drivers per team, and there's the actual drivers championship, and then I'd also calculate the team championship. Now, I don't know how I would do that team system, and I don't know how well I'd correlate certain vehicles with each other. Like, maybe a couple of teams that I had planned would be, for instance, that and Power Pistons. Or, like, Gearhead and XT3 would be a team. And I also don't know how it would be determined that they would be a team. Would it be off of car color? Like, maybe Bedlam and Twin Mill, or no, Bedlam and Angels are the yellow team. Henchmen and that are the blue team. Like, I don't know, maybe Metacog and Racecam are the red team. Danny and Professor are the green team. Alex and Burn are the white team. I don't know. Something like that. Or base it off of have them drive the same car. For instance, Alex and Burn are teammates, and they would just share Alex's taste for Ferraris. Ryan and Race can be a team, and they both share maybe the Mazda RX-7 that Ryan has been driving since Beats stole it. Twin Mill and perhaps So Fast be a team, and they both be the Ford GT40. Twin Mill and Beat could also be a team as well, as has been brought to my attention that Jet Set Radio came with a copy of Sega 2002 GT, or GT 2002, which had 4 GTs all over the box art. And of course, I didn't want to put Beat in the same car as Twin Mill, but if the teams worked that way, that would be very viable. The golden guys would be kind of hard to put on one team though, because each of the 4 golden cars are very different vehicles. We have 60 Angels, which is kind of got like the 60s Roadster meets like late 90s muscle aspect. Then we have Governor, which is like almost a Plymouth Belvedere, like full-on 50s cruiser, but with a little more style and flair to it. Swoopy-Doo with angular lines and like basically no curves, but being a wedge supercar. And then Bedlam being like half truck. So I think for the golden group, if I did a team, it would be 60 Angels and Bedlam, who might share the Corvette that 60 Angels has had since day one. Act3 and Gearhead, if they raced, would share the Porsche Cayenne that Gearhead had in Act 2. I'm fleshing all of this out, but it's not even necessarily confirmed that this would be what would happen. Other ideas being that, so basically it'd be 7v7, 7 groups of 2, or I might also have myself as like on my own driver in a really good car. Or someone on their own is like in a really good, fast car. And especially considering I have 0 ties to anyone here. Unless I were going to put in, like, I had thought of putting in, like, a girl that I was friends with, changing her name around a little bit, putting her in the series, but I figured I'm trying to limit myself in my own editions. I've already made 6, I think. So let's see, there's myself, the delivery guy, Mortimer, Beat. Who was the 5th one? Blossom, right, duh. And I think there was one in the first championship, I thought, as well. That was, like, one more that was, like, not part of it. No, that was the only one that wasn't there. So I've made 5 additions. I have plans for 2 or 3 more, at the very least. And I guess maybe throughout the 9 acts, limit myself to, like, 10 additions. Myself and 1 more for each different thing. Meaning I just used up a lot of those on Act 2, because I added 3 extra characters in Mortimer, the delivery guy, and Blossom. The delivery guy who will not be coming back again at all, unless he comes back in, like, one of the very, very late acts. Where maybe I'll just go to, like, really slow cars. Because there are definitely a fair share of cars that are slow. Another thing to organize them by is track list, because this is basically a list of every track in the game that I'd be willing to go to. There's 20. The only one missing here would be Barcelona and the Barcelona MotoGP layout that they use, which takes out the chicane at the end of the course. The chicane version being the more common version that's used, of course. Another thing, too, is the whole point system is actually not worked out too well. Like, that change has brought about unbalance in both championships it's been part of. But with the reward for winning not being as severe as not winning, perhaps that would actually be one solution to fixing it. It punishes you more for a bad race. And if you have a string of good races, anyone that comes in 2nd and 3rd will still be remain relatively close to what you just did. So we'll have to keep that in mind for number 4, or Act 4. I'm out of time here, aren't I? But the idea that I had was, since all but like 2 tracks are in Europe on this game, I'm just gonna go through the track list. Okay, I don't want to leave that. I'm gonna change that. Rounds. This is in Spain, New Mexico, Britain, Scotland, Italy, California, Italy, Germany, Austria, back to Britain, Belgium. I think Vallelunga is Belgian anyway. Might not be. There's like 10 locations, I think. 10 different countries represented. There's... yeah, USA, Spain, Britain, Scotland, Italy, Germany, Austria, Belgium, and England. And if Vallelunga is in a different location, then that'd be 11. I could look, actually. I think the single player does say where these locations are. Time attack. Information. Yeah, it does. And that's actually a map of the track as well. So that's the wrong way. Where is Val... oh, it even says there. This is actually still Italy as well. Autodromo Piero Taruffi, I guess. Oh, Zandvoort's in... Netherlands. Okay, so that's 11 countries. I didn't know Zandvoort was in that. That's a weird-looking track. Yeah, so that's in the Netherlands. Didn't actually know that. Here's Spa. Here's the original Silverstone, which is very different to the version we saw earlier. What is this? Oh, that, duh. So the game details a number of pit boxes, which almost tells you that you can put more than 16 cars. You could put 24 on most tracks. But you can only put 16 in a race. It also only names the country. It doesn't name the place in the country, so we don't actually know where Black Cat County is. I just think it's New Mexico. It doesn't ever say. Had no time for a twin wheel special feature here because the recording's about to end in like a minute. So yeah, that's been it for... yeah, the points get reset right there. That's it for Act 3 of Universe 0. Next in Act 4 will be... I don't even know what to call it. I might actually call... You See Nothing. Well, those are some spoilers. Now